of the war at the Muslim period was very disturbing. The whole states were, divided into many states. The, the Hindus, the Rajputs, they were divided in many clans, many tribes. وہ تمام جو لوگ تھے وہ آپس میں جو تھے نا وہ جو ہے نا الگ الگ تھا وہ تھے. اس وجہ سے جو صورتحال تھی situation at that time was very critical. So, and at that time, the Ghazni Mahmud and he, Ghaznavi, the Gauri was, in 1173, 1173, the Gauri hold the command of his tribe, and 1173 he became the ruler of the tribe, Shahabuddin Gauri. So there were several factors led to the Muhammad Gauri to direct his arm towards India. So there were many factors that they direct attention to the Central Asia. So then for Shahabuddin Gauri, Mahmud Ghaznavi came here and then he came back. He never consolidated his power. He came here, and made rule and then come back. Shahabuddin Gauri, he made the conquest and established his state in Central Asia. So at that time, the Khwarizm Shah was main hurdle for their victory. So due to Khwarizm Shah, Shahabuddin Gauri never paid attention. So Khwarizm Shah, the strong, resistance forced him to become defeat, and he never came back after the victory. So, secondly, Ghazni was defeated. The second reason was attack was the Ghazni was defeated. So, at this reason, the Gauri, Shahabuddin Gauri, he forced his idea to make a rule, to establish a rule in Central Asia. Lastly, India was divided into many warring states and there was no political unity. So there was no political unity in these warring states. So this also helped the Shahabuddin Gauri to make control over the land and captured and attacked the subcontinent and made their rule there. The first invasion of Gauri was directed against Multan. First, Muhammad Gauri first attacked Multan, first attacked the Multan, Mahmud Gauri. At that time, ruled by the Karamatians. At that time, the Karamatians was present at the Multan. He captured the city and appointed the governor here. From Multan, he proceeded to Uch Sindh, which was captured after some time by the Shah. So then from Multan, then he came to Uch. Uch is a place of Sindh. Then he began ruled, went forward and controlled the area of Uch and Sindh. In 1175, an expedition against the Anil Habara. 1175, Mahmud Gauri made the expedition Anil Habara, capital of Gujarat. Anil Habara, capital of Gujarat. Here he attacked Shahabuddin Gauri. Then he defeated by Bhim II. Then he defeated the Hindu Raja Bhim II, capital of Gujarat. Vegas, a king of Nilvara, finding it impossible to conquer India, to Sindh and Sultan Mahmud Ghori thought and conquering the Punjab, which was the key of Hindustan. So the Shabadi Gauri, I mean, not wanted to go advance. He only captured, ruled the Punjab and established their rule at Punjab. Established his rule at Punjab. So then 1179 invaded Peshawar. Then Shahabuddin Gauri 1179 invaded Peshawar and captured it. He then led the expedition of the Punjab and occupied Sialkot. He became the base against Khusro Malak. Then he captured Sialkot. Sialkot was the base of the Khusro Malak. So he captured there and ruled there. After the fall of the Ghaznavid, Mahmud Ghori had to face the opposition of the Rajputs. After the fall of Ghaznavi, महमूद गजनवी के यानी के शिकस्त के बाद उसके बाद महमूद गजनवी के जो सक्सेसर थे वो इतने स्ट्रांग नहीं थे वो इतने ताकतवर नहीं थे so they were not strong and the Rajputs they resisted and they defeated the Ghaznavi I mean ruler. So Shahabuddin Gauri was very much disturbed and disappointed and he wanted that he should align and, and again to capture this thing. Then then Gauri alarmed Prithviraj, the Chauhan ruler of Delhi and Ajmer. The Prithviraj and Chauhan ruler of Delhi and Ajmer. And there was came according to Frista. According to Frista, Frista is the historian of that time, included two 2 lakh horses, 2 lakh horses and 300 elephants, and marched against the Gauri chief. This was in heavy battle. They marched against Gauri chief 1191 after D. Three soldiers, 2 lakh horses, and 300 elephants, and at the armies at the field of Tereen. Tereen near Thanesar. Tereen is a place near Thanesar, near Sokudia. So they, came back. They, I mean, fight at the Battle of Tereen. And unfortunately, the Shahabudi Gauri could not have victory. He was defeated. Shahabudi Gauri was defeated at the first battle of Tareen. But he was never discouraged. He then again boosted himself and became powerful and then decided another attack. Then he organized a strong army. Ghori invaded India in 1192. Then Shahabuddin Ghori 1192. He, with a force of 1,20,000 cavalry, reached a place near Tarim. Near Tarim, they have gathered and Raj princes to join in against the Muslim invader. All the Rajputs, they have become united and they said that we will fight against the Muslim ruler, fight against the Muslims. So all the Rajas, Hindu, all united and they become against the Shahabuddin Gauri. It is said that the many 150 Rajput princes, 150 Rajput princes were sided with the Hindus, exception of Raja of Kannauj. Only Raja of Kannauj, he was not with them. Lent of British forces. according to Prista, came to 5 lakh horses, 5 lakh horses and 3,000 elephants. 5 lakh horses and 3,000 elephants. Force Mugari adopted a new tactics. At that time, Mahmud Ghazi adopted new tactics. So, what were these tactics? Tactics were that he divided his army in division. Mahmud Ghori divided his army in division. One division fight with the enemy, the other division have rest. So this strategy, I mean, very helpful to Shahabuddin Gauri, his victory. So just imagine they were bigger in their forces, but divided the army into 4 divisions. So this is due to this strategy, dividing the army in 4 divisions, engage the Rajput at one time. So we engage the Rajput at one time, and other the Muslim forces have rested with the time. Ordered the continuity for pain fights and something of fighting. The battle started in the historic field of Tarin. Then this battle was also fought in the Tarin. This have also fought in Tarin. And Rajput fought bravely. And Rajput, they fought bravely. I mean, you see, the Rajput, the Hindus, they were inhabitants. They were local, I mean, princes. So they know the each and everything of the land. The Shapati Gauri, they came abroad. So they were not their inhabitants. So the Rajputs, the Hindu Rajas, they were, there was, known all the areas, all the strategy. So due to this strategy, they fought very bravely, but Shahabuddin Gauri defeated them. And due to this strategy, he defeated them, and Gauri was would be so strong for them. Gauri, crushed them, and Prithviraj, Prithviraj, the Hindu leader, um, run away from the battle, run away from the battlefield, but he was captured and put to death. But Shahabuddin captured him and put to death. The second battle of Tarim, one of the decisive battle. Second battle was, you see, in the first battle, Shahabuddin was defeated. So if he lose his heart, he disappointed. So how can he manage his faith? So this second battle of Tarim was a decisive one. It was decisive one history of India. Muhammad bin Gulari returned to Ghazni and returned trusted Lieutenant Qutbuddin Aibak. Then Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak was the lieutenant of second of Shahabuddin Gauri. He was a great warrior. He was a great commander. He was a great Turk leader. So he supported them and they defeated and they have captured the area. So in May Delhi, the capital of empire, 1195. So he soon conquered Meerut. So Shahabuddin soon conquered Meerut, Koil, modern Aligarh, and Delhi. Shahabuddin Gauri, all these areas captured. He made Delhi a capital of the empire 1194 after D. Shahabuddin made his empire 1194 in that area in Delhi, and the Lahore was too far from the new possessions. The Lahore was also very too far. So, 1194, Mughal again came to India in order to rescue the Chand and to unleash the mortal enemy of Prithviraj. So, then in 1194, Shabadi Gauri again came and fight with the Jay Chand. The combined forces of the army were defeated in the Battle of Chandabar. And the Battle of Chandabar, Shabadi Gauri defeated the Jay Chand, I mean, of the Hindu Raja. The victories may proceeded to Benares and captured it. So the victory was they become Punjab, they came to Benares. So I mean North India, not only Punjab, they become established rule in North India. The fall of Jay Chand had Sindhbara made Muhammad bin the master of the political as well the religious capitals of the Hindustan, Kanuj and Benares. The the fall of Chand, according to Professor S.R. Sharma, according to Professor S.R. Sharma of the great historian, he said that the fall of Jay Chand, due to the fall of Jay Chand at Chandravar, made Muhammad master of the political as well as the religious capitals of the Hindustan. Kanuj and Benares. So he reigned all this area from Hindustan, Kanuj and Benares. On the departure of Mughal to Ghazni, he rebel vice of Qutbuddin Aibak continued the work of conquest. In 1196, 1196 after he captured Gwalior. 1196 after he captured Gwalior and then marched against the Bhim, Bhim, Devok, Anilwar. He conquered Anilwara in Gujarat, 1198. In 1198, Muhammad Ghori and his lieutenant Qutbuddin Babak conquered area of Gujarat, Anilwara, Anilwara, Gujarat, 1198. Muhammad aimed at war in 1178. Muslim arms under Muhammad Ghori in 1178. So 1178, the area was totally under the control of Shahabudin Ghori. So in 1202, 1202, Qutbuddin Aibak invaded Kalinjar, which was the military capital of Parmar Devi Deva, the Chandra king of Bundelkhand. The Chandra offered a strong resistance to the Muslim, but ultimately they were defeated and the fort of Kalinjar fell on the hands of Muslims. So the fort of Kalinjar fell in the hands of Muslims. Mahuba and Kalipi were next conquered. Thus all the important places of North India, all the places of North India were brought under the control of Muslims by Qutbuddin. While Qutbuddin Aibak was bringing North India under the way of his, it was his lieutenant. Qutbuddin Aibak was lieutenant of Shahabudin Gauri. So, నేను Bhakshanva Shabadi Gauri, but Qutbuddin Aibak was his commander. So he under his command he captured and he invaded and he captured all this area. Qutbuddin Aibak was bringing northern India under sway of his master. Iftar of the Khilji. So then the other person, Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khilji. Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khilji is also was a Turk's lieutenant of Qutbuddin. Is also lieutenant of Qutbuddin Khilji, the Turkish supremacy over East India. So the Turkish supremacy by East India was completed. Muhammad Mukhtar Khilji was an outstanding figure in the history of Bengal. So it is a in history of Bengal, this Mukhtar Khilji, Muhammad bin Mukhtar Khilji, was known as the importance of the East India. He began East Bengal. In his early life, he tried but failed to secure both in Ghazni and Delhi. So both in Ghazni and Delhi ruled both Ghazni and Delhi simultaneously. At last took subsidy under Malik Husamuddin was the commander of the Benares Anur division and was assigned the villages of Bhagarwat and Deliori. Here he was able to collect number of tribes and their help. Mukhtar Khilji captured Andhra capital of Bihar, which was then ruled by the Pala kings. He brought his conquest under the government of Delhi, and when the permission of Qutbuddin invaded Bengal. So you see, I mean the the ruler, the lieutenant of Shahabuddin Gauri, they spread each everywhere, and from Punjab to North India, they made their rule there in 1203, and the elder brother Ghiyasuddin was died in 1203. The elder brother of Ghiyasuddin died. Then Gauri became the undisputed ruler of Ghaznavi. So in 1203, Shahabuddin Gauri became the undisputed. Before that, the brothers was fighting unitedly, but after death is Mahmud Gauri, he became independent. Shahabuddin Gauri, 1203, and position was soon endangered by some revolts and insurrection. And this was there was some insurrection, there was some revolts at that time. In 1204, he attacked the Shah of Khwarizm in Central Asia. 1204, he attacked the Shah of Khwarizm in Central Asia, but was badly defeated. Sultan, with great difficulty, captured as soon as disaster was noised abroad. He foresees the confusion among the work, a majority of the governors and viceroys revolted and declared themselves independent. So at that time, they were the princes of the state. They revolted against the Shahabuddin Gauri. So to this thing, Shahabuddin Gauri have a setback. Due to this thing, the Shahabuddin Gauri faced the problem. The gates of Ghazni Sultan were closed against the Sultan, but this most dangerous and deep rebellion was that of Khokars. But the most rebellion thing was the Khokars, the tribe of Punjab. The Khokars, they were very strong. They were very strong. They were very warrior. They revolted against the Shahabuddin Gauri. The Khokars faced and strike with the Shahabuddin Gauri. The Khokars and marched to India, suppressed the rebellion everywhere, inflicted crushing defeat on the Khokars and regained Multan and Ghazni. Shahabuddin Gauri killed the Khokars and crushed the Khokars, and then he regained Multan and Ghazni again. Again he captured Multan and Ghazni. Both he did not live long, enjoy the fruits of his labor, but Shahabuddin Gauri did not live long and enjoyed the I mean the labor of his was he spent and could not see his victory from Lahore. Then he going to Ghazni. then Shahabuddin Ghori was going to Ghazni from Lahore and stayed at Damik in Jhelum district. So 1206, 1206, Shahabudi Ghori was assassinated, killed by Khokhar, Raja of Khokhar, fanatic person of Khokhar, and he secretly assassinated and killed the Shahabudi Ghori. So in 1206, the rule of Shahabudin became to end miserably. So there is a critical view, causes of Muslim success. What was the causes of Muslim success? A curious student might well inquire about the causes of Muslim success Ghazni as well as Mughari. So that the period of Mughazanavi and Mughari, both were the period was after come short come after that period. So what were the causes? According to British writer of Indian history, such as Elphinstone, British history such as Elphinstone, Lane Paul, and V.A. Smith. Historian V.A. Smith, Lane Paul, Elphinstone, the success of the Muslim due to the fact, the success of Muslim was due to the fact, duty that they have superior in military technique. They have superior military technique. The Turks have great superiority. They have great knowledge about the military technique. You know, the war was always fought military techniques. The Hindus, they were not, at that time, were not aware of the modern techniques. They were not aware of the modern techniques of the warfare, military techniques. So the Muslims, Shapati Gauri, faced, acquired the military technique, and due to military technique superiority, he captured the area and become the ruler of that area. So it was the reason of their success. So, the Rajputs, they were what? Very good warriors. Rajputs not, they were good warriors, good fighters, but the dissension, but they were not united. Rajputs were not united. They have differences with each other. They have jealousies with each other. So, due to these jealousies, due to this, आपस में जो बगावतें थी, आपस की जो है ना रसना दादियाँ थी, आपस की जो है ना हिंदुओं की जो है ना आपस इत्तेफाक नहीं था, उस वजह से मुसलमानों ने फायदा उठाया और जो है ना शाहबुद्दीन गौरी जो है फायदा उठाया और उन्होंने इस मुल्क पर कब्जा किया. They organized equity army to not cope with the Turks. He organized. The army was organized. The army was organized. Just see, they have strong in military level, but they were not organized, ill-organized. So they are equipped and also ill-organized and ill-equipped. So they have not equipped with the modern technology. So, due to this reason, they were defeated by the Muslims, and the Muslims, they captured and ruled over this area. So, Dr. Habibullah, the great historian, said one great defect of the Rajput military system was that Dr. Habibullah said that one of the great military defect system was that they staked everything on the issue of a single battle. So they put all the forces in a single battle. It was their weakness of the Hindus. They put all stake. Who with the full force, and they did not make any distinction between war and battle. So the difference between war and battle. So Hindus, they were not have great technology, great skill. So they put all the things on place one step to war. The forces was this was a battle. So they captured, they have forced all the resources, they forced all the resources in their battle. This was the reason of their defeat. So the other thing was that Muslims against Hindus, the drugs were the Muslims were against Hindus. I mean, the war was fight with the spirit. War was never guide the horses, the military command, and with the ammunition. The war was fight with the spirits. The Muslims, the Turks, they have spirit, they have unity, they believe on Allah, they believe on Islam. So Islam teach them, Islam taught them when there is a war. So fight with shoulder to every Muslim. Don't forget. Don't leave your Muslim brother and fight unitedly. So it was the ideology. The ideology. This ideology they came for Muhammad Rasulullah. This ideology came from Muhammad Rasulullah. The Muhammad Rasulullah, then the Caliphate, Yadullah, they have fight with the enemies with the idea of unity. So they fight with the unity. They all the Muslims are brother. They all Muslims are brother. So they they I mean accept this idea and they उन्होंने इस चीज़ को मकसद बनाया इस चीज़ को अपना ज़िंदगी का मकसद बनाया कि तमाम मुसलमान जो हैं आपस में भाई हैं एक मुसलमान को तकलीफ हो तो दूसरा मुसलमान जो है ना उसका साथ दे हजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने कहा है एक मुसलमान जो है वो एक जिस्म की मानद है जो एक मुसलमान को उंगली में भी तकलीफ हो तो पूरे जिस्म में उस इंसान को तकलीफ होती है इसलिए जो है ना मुसलमान के अंदर चीज़ है कोई मुसलमान में जज्बा था कि वो एक मुसलमान की तकलीफ पूरे पूरी कौम बर्दाश्त करती थी पूरी कौम बर्दाश्त करती थी मेजोरिटी थी फिर हिंदू थे देवर डिवीजन इन कास्ट सिस्टम they were in caste system with this caste system they were not united Hindus were with this caste system were united each other and this was the reason of their defeat so because in caste system they have no any feeling no feeling of any unity so this division also made the problem and this division was also forced the Muslim to rule there and capture their enemy. Brought a marriage among the Muslims and they fought shoulder to shoulder and we were saying full of different castes. So there now began the estimate of Mahmud Ghori. So there was analysis of Mahmud Ghori estimate. So Mahmud Ghori was a great politician. Ghori was a great politician and a far-sighted statesman. वो जो है ना बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा सियासतदान था और दूरस्थ निगाह रखने वाला हुक्मरान था. He fully realized the rotten political condition of India. वो जो है ना उसे पूरा दादा था कि जिस तरह जो है ना इंडिया का जो निज़ाम है वो रोटन है वो गला सड़ा निज़ाम है उसमें कोई ताजगी नहीं है सो शाहबादी गौरी जो है ना वो नए जज्बे वो नए उम्मीद के साथ वो आगे बढ़ा और अपनी फोर्सेस को इकट्ठा किया अपनी फौजों को इकट्ठा किया तो अपने अंदर ये ताकत पैदा की सपना पैदा की हम जो है ना बेहतर निज़ाम ला सकते हैं हम बेहतर इस मुल्क की खिदमत कर सकते हैं हम बेहतर इस मुल्क की सलाह बूट कर सकते हैं कोई तो ये वो निज़ाम की خامیوں کو سمجھتا تھا شہابالدین غوری. یہ چیز بڑی اہم تھی. اس وجہ سے جو ہے وہ جو ہے نا وہ شہابالدین غوری کو کامیابی ملی. شہابالدین غوری جو ہے نا وہ اس چیز میں کامیاب ہوا. So, so there were also, I mean, there's a difference between Mahmud Ghaznavi and Shahabudin Ghori. Mahmud Ghaznavi was came here. He made the 70th expedition, Ghaznavi. Then in 70th expedition, then he looted the plunder, the wealth of the area, then go back to Ghazni. So he never stayed there. But the Shahabudin Ghori, he made opposite this thing. Shahabudin Ghori adopted the policy of establishment, the establishment of the consolidating. उसने शहाबुद्दीन गौरी ने अपनी फतूहात को, अपनी विक्ट्रीज को उसने जो है ना मुजतमع किया, इकट्ठा किया और उसने जो है ना उनको जो है ना एक पेज पर लाया, उनको सब किया कोई. वो उसने ये नहीं किया. ये था फर्क जो है मुगदनवी शहाबुद्दीन गौरी में. So, I mean, at that time, Ghaznavi only established Punjab. The policy of Ghori, the respect was quite different. He conquered the country and consolidated the conquest. The first and foremost aim was on submerged Muslim empire. So, Shahabudin Ghori's main important thing to have permanent Muslim empire in Central Asia, the subcontinent. So it was a desire that there should be a great empire, there should be a Muslim empire who ruled there and have planned their message and favored the people of the land, people of the area. So then he found the permanent Muslim empire, India, and furnished among the life of all the resources required for the maintenance of this empire. So he used all the resources which was collected from these all the expedition to establish and have made their country, the state, a great area, a great nation, a great empire. So, after the Battle of Tarim, and he completed the task with reputation, life of Mugwari came to a tragic end. So, it was a tragic end of Mugwari, who was assassinated. I mean, if there was a time he became so he more consolidated the Muslim empire in India, but due to this assassination, to tragic end, Gauri could not do all these things. It was the problem of Gauri. So, at this thing, I mean, Gauri is therefore justly called. So we can say that Gauri, Shahabudin Gauri, justly called the founder of the Muslim Empire in Indo-Pakistan. So credit goes to Shahabudin Gauri that he established in Indo-Pakistan a great Muslim empire. Gauri was most remarkable figure of the medieval India. Shahabudin Gauri was more remarkable of the medieval India. He was a man of courage. He was a man of courage, enterprise, and spirit. So these are all his habits, these are his qualities which force him and became the powerful person and showed extraordinary coolness and perseverance. So he never hesitated, he never outspoken. He all these things is in a cool manner. So in a cool manner, preservation, he developed these things. Just he when he was defeated at first battle of Tarim. If another, I mean, the Mughal never defeated at any time. Ghaznavi was never defeated in his life. He always captured and won the battle. But Shahabuddin Ghori was defeated at the Battle of Tarim. So he was disappointed. And this is his personality. He became, I mean, made himself more strong. And then second Battle of Tarim, then he again captured the whole India. He fighting with the Hindu state incessantly for several years. He fought with several years with the Hindu states and period of showed extraordinary collaboration. It was no small matter to him that he with limited resources, he had not got great resources. I mean, the Mughals Nabi had great resources, but Shahabuddin Gauri have limited resources. So, I mean, in limited resources, he gained and captured the area, extending from then extending from Afghanistan to Bengal. So Shahabuddin Ghori rule was extended from Afghanistan to Bengal. Just imagine your area and Punjab then came from North India and Bengal, Afghanistan. He was complete ruler of that area. The other rulers, Indo-Pakistan, he was interested in learning and literature. Shahabuddin Gauri was also a good ruler of learning and literature, paid attention with learning and literature, and scholars like Fakhruddin Razi, scholar like Fakhruddin Razi enjoyed his patronage. He was a man of action, full of life, energy, and unfailing resources, was God-fearing. Shahabuddin Gauri was God-fearing. He was both नमाजी और परहेजगार आदमी था. शाहबुद्दीन गौरी के अंदर कोई बुराई नहीं थी, कोई चीज़ नहीं थी. वो जो है ना, ये खूबी थी कि वो जो है गॉड फ्रीक था और जो है ना वो इस्लाम के अहकामात और इस्लाम की तालीमात पर अमल करता था. शाहबुद्दीन गौरी ये उसका कैरेक्टर थी, उसकी खूबी थी और अल्लाह ताला से वो डरता था. और इसलिए जो है ना वो अपने जो सब्जेक्ट से अपनी रियाया थी, शहाबुद्दीन गौरी अपनी रियाया से अच्छा सलूक करता था, रियाया से बेहतर सलूक करता था. वो अल्लाह से डरता था, उनकी रियाया को वो जो है ना अच्छा सलूक करता था, अच्छा बर्ताव करता था, जो अच्छा सलूक करता था. सो इसी comparison between Ghori and Sultan Mahmud. So Ghori, Sultan Mahmud are the two important personalities. So Mahmud Ghaznavi and Shahabuddin Ghori was two important personalities of the subcontinent at that time of Central Asia. So they were very important personalities, and both Ghori were enterprising soldier and invaded India. Though both were soldiers, very soldier, they are brave, they have fighting spirit and fight with the enemy and then capture the whole life of they were not restless. The whole life was spent in wars, in battles. So they struggled all these things in wars and battles. For he was and scrutiny of the respective achievements and character shows they resemble each other in more than one respect, different in many respect. I mean, they resemble in many respect and have different with any respect. Ghaznavi and Shahabuddin Gauri resembled and different with each other. Firstly, who was the world great general Tabul Gauri. Firstly, Mahmud Ghaznavi was great general. Ghaznavi was great general, great warrior, different in many respects. So Mughal was a career of the following was very more brilliant than that of later. So I mean the career was Ghaznavi was great, but Shahabuddin Gauri have known that they added. Parliament led as many a study expedition aimed and never suffered the worst. Ghaznavi has 70 expedition and never a reverse. So this was reason Gauri was an honorary soldier. Ghaznavi was an honorary soldier. He was not a that soldier or great soldier. He was ordinary soldier, not a great commander. So this was their comparison. Ghaznavi and Shahabuddin Gauri and suffered many defeats, and he suffered many defeats. Shahabuddin Gauri suffered many defeats, but he never lost his heart. He was defeated by Bhimdev Vanarhava. Shahabuddin Gauri was defeated by Bhimdev Anarvara in Gujarat in the Battle of Tea. Then, 1191 AD, he suffered miserable defeat at the hands of Prithvi Chauhan. So, Shahabuddin Gauri got defeated with two defeats, with 1178, 1191. Such defeats are never heard during the of Karim Sultan Moor. So, these defeats were never heard in the Ghaznavi. Ghaznavi never saw in his life any defeat. Then the victories of Wari, whatever he had, were mostly due to Lieutenant Qutbuddin Aibak and Iftara the Mobil Tarbilji, or the main defeat of the Shahabuddin Gauri. Shahabuddin Gauri was the lieutenant, his naib, Qutbuddin Aibak, and Ikhtiaruddin Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khilji. So the Khilji and Qutbuddin Aibak, the two lieutenants of Shahabuddin Gauri. So due to their help, he captured and ruled over the area. He, as regards the attitude towards the invasion of his country, Mughal was greater than Umar Ghaznavi. So, I mean, the regards the attitude. So, in attitude, the Mahmud Shabat Gauri was a great warrior and gathered and greater than Ghaznavi. The former has been called the founder of the Muslim Empire. Mahmud Ghaznavi was called the founder of the Muslim Empire in India. So Mahmud Gauri took the care of consolidating his conquest. So you see, this was the difference. Ghaznavi captured and ruled area, but he never paid attention to consolidate. So this is main thing is that a general, a ruler is not consolidated his powers. Without consolidating power, अपनी हुकूमत को मजबूत करना, अपनी हुकूमत को मुस्तकम करना, अपनी हुकूमत को जो है ना कायम रखना, ये सबसे अहम चीज़ है. पता नहीं क्या चीज़ पता के बाद अपनी जो है ना उसको कायम रखना, अपनी हुकूमत को कायम रखना, अपनी फतह को कम दायम रखना और अवाम के इस्तेमाल करना, ये सबसे बड़ी बात है. तो शाहबुद्दीन गौरी की ये खूबी थी, उसने अपनी फतवाहत को मजबूत किया. So this and view took the different policy from the Mudo's conquest went hand in hand with the work of consolidating. So this thing there is that Shahabuddin Gauri worked his victories with the hand in hand. They very whenever he captured, he consolidated his power at that area. He never leave this area and gave time. So his main attention was consolidate his powers. So you see, in this way, Shahabuddin Gauri was the great warrior and great service of Islam. He made great service of Islam and established the rule of Islam and made the name of Islam in subcontinent in Central Asia. So Hindu temples are so I mean, and there's a Mughaznabi, there's a allegation that he captured the Hindu temples and take wealth. So Shahabudin Gauri never do this thing. Shahabudin Gauri established and consolidated this power. So he spent all these things to consolidate his power and he stayed. So he invaded his country not for the purpose of establishing an empire here, but for the enlargement of his Central Asian empire. So he established the power to have a enlargement of Central Asian empire. Shahabudin Gauri made this thing empire enlargement to enlarge, to make large the Muslim power in Central Asia. Thirdly, Mahmud are very great statesmen. They are guided by the reason and circumstances. Both have great statesmen. They have guided with the reasons and circumstances. They act according to the decision of circumstances. So when you see in Second Battle of Tarin, Shahabudin Gauri, I had the idea that we will not unite the force in a one hand. So we made in four divisions. So they have due to this technique, they have fought and they have won the battle of Tarin. So this thing, the Khwarizm position, due to this thing, technique, the Shahabudin Gauri have Khwarizm opposition, and he turned his attention on the object of establishing a permanent empire. So he wanted there should be a permanent empire. So his main intention was Shahabudin Gauri's main intention was permanent empire. He wanted that it should be permanent empire. He don't want that the empire should not be permanent. So I mean I'm a Ghaznavi, a great pattern of art and learning. Ghazni was great pattern of art and learning. But Shahabudin Gauri was a mere soldier and politician. Shahabudin Ghaznavi, Shahabudin Gauri was just a mere soldier, I mean, and politician. This was difference between Ghaznavi and Shahabudin Gauri. So Shahabudin Gauri was army soldier and great politician. So, I mean, the Mughal Ghaznavi have captured and and have many in their empire. Ghazni have made the many people in their empire, in their Mahal mein, Al Buruni, Atbi, and Fardausi. Dosi was appointed in the Ghazni period and Celeste Bride, Jam Masjid, and Ghazni. He had a library and museum and a main building in the Ghazni. But Mood Ghaznavi, Mood Gauri, then Shahabudin Gauri. So just imagine there's a difference. So Shahabudin Gauri, on the other hand, showed great interest in art and learning. Shahabudin Gauri not paid any attention in art and literature and he paid full attention to the main conquest, main conquest. So as Krista says, but did not remain so keen and interest in art and literature. So Krista said कि Shahabudin Gauri don't pay any interest in art and literature. So this was also a critical view of the Shahabudin Gauri. So it was every ruler has his own mind. Every ruler has his own idea. Every ruler has his own think of that. So in this thing, Lane Paul considered Nagori an obscure figure when compared with Sultan Moore. So according to the great historian Lane Paul, so he paid great admiration to Ghaznavi, and he said Shahabudin Gauri was not that of having a criteria of art and literature. So these things that they have a different in culture, different in habit. So this thing. So this is the story of Shahabudin Gauri. I mean, he is Shahabudin Gauri. The main thing is that University, it is not the thing that you have great soldier. The thing is that you have a great spirit in your body. So Mulgaznavi was fought with spirit, but he not consolidated his power. Credit goes to Shabadi Gauri that he has not only captured in that Central Asia, but he consolidated his power and made a great land and made a grand Muslim empire at that time. So credit goes to Shabadi Gauri, who is courageous and grateful and bravely adopted this thing. So, now, any question about this is history? Good thing. Some they have said that it's very बड़ा खुश मजमून बड़ा खुश मजमून है तो ये चीज़ है कि वो खुश मजमून लगता है कोई दिलचस्पी ना हो को लेकिन दिलचस्पी पैदा हो तो ये बहुत अच्छी दिलचस्पी लगता है कोई तो ये चीज़ें है कोई मैं ये चीज़ मतलब है ना कि इमेजिन करो कि उस वक्त जो है वो जो है 1983 में 1983 पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी में एडमिशन हुए थे तो मेरा नाम MPA में आ गया था मास्टर्स इन पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन नेक्स्ट टू बिजनेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन और MBA में मेरा नाम आ गया था वेटिंग लिस्ट में 1983 में लेकिन मैंने कहा मैंने हिस्ट्री ही पढ़नी है उसका मुझे याद है वो बोले न क्या पागल हो गए तुम हिस्ट्री पढ़नी है तुम्हारे MP में नाम है तो जाओ क्या करिए कोई तो मैंने कहा नहीं मुझे तालीम का शौक है मैं कारोबार के लिए नहीं पैसे के लिए नहीं मैं तालीम में शौक है मुझे हिस्ट्री का शौक है मुझे इसलिए मैं ये सब्जेक्ट पढ़ना चाहता हूँ मैं कोई बात नहीं कोई पैसे को दिलचस्पी नहीं कोई तो मैं जो चीज़ें है ना तो ये चीज़ें हैं कि ज़िंदगी में उस वक्त जो है ना फैसला किया तो सब लोगों ने मेरी मुखालफत की पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी में टीचरों समेत हर एक ने मुखालफत की पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी में तुम क्यों ये हिस्ट्री ले रहे हो तुम लेकिन मैं उनकी बात नहीं माननी मैंने चीज़ किया कोई ये चीज़ें हैं ये चीज़ शौक बात है ये मतलब है ना अपनी शौक की दिलचस्पी की बात है कोई मैं जो है ना मेरी वालदा अल्लाह बख्शे मेरी डॉक्टर बनाना चाहती थी मैं FSC उन्होंने मुझे रखी कोई तो मैं जो FSC नहीं कर सका कोई मुझे बोला था कि मैं जो नहीं कर सकता तो अल्लाह बख्शे मेरी मान का नहीं फिर मेरा मेरी नहीं करना मेरी सेकंड डिवीजन आई तो वो उसका जो मेरी वालदा ने बोला कि तुम डिवीजन इम्प्रूव करो वो मेरे पे मैं सोचे शुरू हो गया अक्सर उस वक्त थी उसका अक्सर ये आदत थी लोग प्रैक्टिस करते थे इम्प्रूव करते थे कि मेडिकल कॉलेज में दाखिले ले लेते थे लेकिन मेरे अल्लाह बख्शे मेरे वालिद ने मेरे पापा ने फिर मुझे मशा दिया वो घर आए وہ مودا میں رہتا تھا. تو کہا بیٹے تم نے ڈی امپروو بھی کی تو فائدہ نہیں ہوگا, تمہارا شوق ہی نہیں ہے, تمہارا شوق انٹرسٹ نہیں ہے تو فائدہ کیا ہے, تم پھر خدا نہ خاطہ رہ جاؤ گے, تمہارا سائل ضائع ہوگا. میں نے ان کی بات کو پلے باندھا اور میں نے آئیڈیا کیا کہ میں نے نام مطلب پیسہ چینج کر لیا ایف ایس سی کی. میں نے گریجویشن میں داخلہ لیا گورنمنٹ کالج میں, پھر بی اے کیا, بی اے کے بعد پنجاب یونیورسٹی میں داخلہ لیا. کوئی یہ چیز ہے کوئی اللہ تعالیٰ نے وہ چیز, وہ جو علم جو تھا, وہ نوکری جو اس وقت وہ ڈاکٹر جو تھے, وہ سی ایس ایس کرتے تھے, وہ مجھے کی وجہ سے مجھے نوکری ملی. 83 میں 1983 I was appointed as customs inspector due to knowledge of history, due to subject of history. So I got this position due to this history. So I mean this thing, I mean this thing, I mean there's a difficult thing to have dates, to remember the dates. It's a very difficult thing. Now at that time, now I'm Stephen Plus, so I'm not a good memory. So that's why I've made the book and have the dates. So at that time, the knowledge was very fresh. So at that time, I was made all the dates as per تمام تاریخیں مجھے زبانی یاد ہوتی تھی. مجھے کوئی تاریخ مجھے مس نہیں ہوتی تھی. میں نے جب بی اے کا امتحان دیا, بی اے کے امتحان کے بعد میں جو ہے نا اس کے بعد ایم اے پڑھتا تھا. پھر میں نے کسٹم انسپیکٹر کے انٹرویو کے لیے میں نے اپلائی کیا. کوئی اس وقت اس نے جو ہے نا میرے جو ہے نا ڈاکومنٹس دیکھے, اس نے کہا اولڈ ڈرائیوین, یس سر ایم اولڈ ڈرائیوین. انگلش شوٹر دیا میں نے, نو آن فوری ہو رہا اے ماس اولڈ ڈرائیوین. سو یہ چیز بتانا چاہتا ہوں کہ اداروں کی بڑی اہمیت ہوتی ہے. ہمیشہ اچھے اداروں میں پڑھو. یہ ہماری اللہ بخشے ہمارے پاپا کی خواہش ہوتی تھی اچھے اداروں میں پڑھو, اس لیے میں نے گومو کالج میں بی اے کیا. کوئی تو وہ جناب بڑا خوش ہوا, اس نے وہی بولا اے ماس اولڈ ڈرائیوین, نو یو شوڈ پروو یور میٹل. میں یس سر آئی ٹرائی مائی بیسٹ. وہ جناب جانے وہ قاسم وہ شروع ہوا. 22 منٹ اس نے میرا انٹرویو لیا. 22 منٹ میں تو دنیا جہان کی کوئی چیز نہیں چھوڑی, ہر چیز واز پر پکارتی تھی. when first world war come, when the second world war come, when the UNO came, ایسے بولتا رہا. میں جناب جیسے جیسے بولتا گیا میں جواب دیتا رہا. یہ چیزیں اور بھی اللہ تعالیٰ کی وجہ سے اللہ بخشے میری والدہ کی دعائیں بھی شامل تھی. تو والدہ میری وہ نوکری کی بڑی سخت ضرورت تھی مجھے, اس لیے ان کی دعائیں ساتھ شامل تھی. وہ جو ہے نا میں نے جو ہے نا پھر وہ چیزیں جو ہے نا وہ حاصل کی گئی ہیں. کوئی پھر آخر میں بڑا خوش ہوا. 22 منٹ لیا. کوئی وہ کہتا آخر میں اس نے ایسا سوال پوچھا جس کا جواب صرف وہی بتا سکتا تھا جس نے اس وقت کا نیوز پیپر پڑھا تھا. میری شروع سے عادت تھی کہ میں گھر سے نکلتا ہوں. آج بھی یاد اب طبیعت خراب ہے, حالات ہے, میں اب اخبار نہیں, اب ٹی وی کا سسٹم آیا ہے. کوئی وہ ٹی وی تھا نہیں کوئی, تو کیبل آج کل. تو میں نے وہ جو نیوز پیپر میں آنا تو اس نے فوری سوال پوچھا جو تھا وہ چیئرمین ٹو بارہ تھا, ہو از دی کرنٹ پریزیڈنٹ وزٹنگ ان پاکستان. اب اس سوال کا جواب کون بتا سکتا تھا, کیونکہ گورنمنٹ میں طریقہ کار ہے. گورنمنٹ آفیسرز میں ہمیشہ ٹیبل پر افسر کے ٹیبل پر اخبار آ جاتا ہے. اس کو سوایا ہوگا اخبار پڑھی تو فوری سوال مجھے سوال پوچھ لیا. میں نے فوری یس سر شیخ شگاری نائجیرین پریزیڈنٹ کرنٹلی وزٹنگ دی پاکستان. وہ مسکرایا, میں خوش ہوا. بعد میں باہر میں آیا, تمام لڑکوں نے بولا تم فیل ہو, تم نہیں کچھ کر سکتے. میں کیوں؟ انہوں نے جس کو فارغ کرنا ہو اتنا لمبے اٹھ دیتے ہیں. میں چھوڑو اللہ مالک ہے, وہ چیز ہے کوئی, وہ جو ہے نا اللہ کی طرف سے نوکری مجھے ملنی تھی, نوکری مل گئی. کہنے مقصد ہے کہ وہ چیز میں نے جو اس وقت MBA چھوڑا میں نے، وہ جو MBA کرتا گیا مجھ بھی نوکری ملی گئی، وہ نوکری ایسی نوکری مجھے ملی جو کسی اور کو نوکری مل سکتی ہی نہیں کوئی، وہ اتنی اہم نوکری مجھے ملی گئی ہسٹری کی وجہ سے، اہم ہسٹری کی وجہ سے وہ نوکری ملی گئی. تو یہ چیز ہر کام من جانب اللہ ہوتا ہے، تو اللہ کی کرم کی وجہ سے یہ چیز یہ نہیں ملی کوئی. تو یہ ہے کہ اللہ تمہیں لوگ بھی جو شوق پیدا ہو کوئی یہ چیزیں ہیں کوئی، مجھے تو شروع سے اس کا شوق تھا، آج بھی شوق ہے، اور تم لوگوں سے اور میرے شوق بتاتا جا رہا ہے. بکس لاتا ہوں، بک پڑھتا ہوں، تمہاری خاطر یہ نہیں ہے کوئی چیز یہ فریش کرتا ہوں، پھر کوئی رہ جاتی ہے کوئی وہ یاد کرتا ہوں پھر میں کوئی. تو یہ جو چیز ہے کوئی جو ہے کوشش یہی ہوتی ہے کہ علم سے علم جو ہے نا اچھا علم دے دوں، اور جو ہے نا وہ یہ خشک مضمون کی وجہ سے لوگ ہسٹری کو بھاگتے ہیں. میں کبھی اس چیز سے نہیں بھاگا، میں دلچسپی لیا اس کو، شوق سے پڑھا ایسے شوق کا جو اللہ نے تعالیٰ نے فائدہ دیا. پھر کوئی یہ ہے اگر آپ نے بھی